It's Dollar Tree Blu-ray hunting time. Let's go! It's $1 Blu-rays at the Dollar Tree. They're back. As you can see, I went to my local Dollar Tree. They have Blu-rays in again. This happens, I'd say, a couple times a year now. And I never thought we would be here. You know, when Blockbuster closed down, they had the $1 Blu-rays. I thought that was the top of the deal right there. And now, Dollar Tree. They actually have, I feel like they bought out some stuff from Hollywood Video years ago when they went out, because I remember seeing things from them. They had DVDs for a while, but Blu-rays, that kind of blew my mind. At the Dollar Tree, still. And I picked up some goodies. There's a few in here. Stack. So if you've seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them, and let me know which one of these is your favorite, and if you've picked up any movies at the Dollar Tree. Blu-rays or DVDs for that matter, but these are all Blu-rays. Let's go ahead and... So I got 10 Blu-rays from the Dollar Tree for $1 a piece. However, as soon as I got home, I opened them all up, and some of them still had the digital copies. And even if the digital copy is expired, a lot of times it's still redeemed. So I sold the digital copies for $10. So I got all these Blu-rays for $0. Free, essentially, Blu-rays. $0 Blu-rays. Yeah, I was pretty excited for that. There was 4 digital copies in here. I sold them. A lot of times you can sell older ones for $3 or $2 or, you know, even $1.50. It's a little extra something you can put towards a new movie or new pickups. And apparently just new Blu-rays in general, Dollar Tree. So I was able to sell the 4 digital copies for $10. And so that covered the cost for the purchase. So $0 for these Blu-rays, $0 Blu-rays. I love it. I was pretty excited for that, and pretty souped in general that the Dollar Tree has Blu-rays. It's pretty wild that there's Blu-rays at the Dollar Tree. There's a lot of big studio titles too. I remember before they had a lot of Magnolia titles, so I think certain ones they kind of were buying the ones they couldn't get rid of, I guess. But then they have some big studio ones in here too, so it's kind of surprising. There's still a bunch more that I want to get. I've seen other people post videos and post pictures on like Instagram and stuff like that. But I guess every Dollar Tree is a little bit different in their stock. I see a lot of ones having the same ones that they keep bringing back. I feel like they just had a gigantic box in the back and just slowly brought out the same ones over and over each time, getting all excited, and it's just the same stuff. But this was some new stuff for me, so let's go ahead and check them out. First up is Zipper. This is actually a really dark, depressing movie, and I really dig it, actually. It's kind of a psychological take on infidelity. This guy is going to be a big politician. He basically keeps cheating on his wife, and he's addicted to prostitutes. And I loved the ending to it. And there's some really good dramatic scenes in here, some good tension. I think Patrick Wilson definitely drives this film. I think he's a very underrated actor. He's been in a ton of stuff. Watchmen. He was the villain in Aquaman. He's so many different roles, and I feel like he just never gets the due that he's deserved. I think partly because he looks just like just an average guy, like the everyman, you know. I feel like he kind of looks like just regular people, regular guys out there. So I don't know if that has something to do with it or not, but I think he's a talented actor, and I think his performance really drove this movie. To get this for $1, I thought that was great. Richard Dreyfuss has a small role in here too. It's good to see him in a lot more things now. He's doing the convention scene, which I think is pretty cool. But you also have Lena Headey, a few other recognizable people, John Cho. But yeah, I really enjoyed the heck out of this one. So to get it for $1, I was definitely excited. This is from Alchemy. And next up is Bubble. They had a lot of Magnolia titles at the Dollar Tree the past few sales. This was another one right here. This is directed by Steven Soderbergh, and they have all non-actors in here. I believe they all lived in the town they were shooting at. And I thought the one actress in here played Rose, Misty Wilkins, was stunning. But it's kind of a slice of small town life, blue collar, working class, lower class. Just kind of a look into that life of them working at a doll factory. It's her right there, an older woman having a crush on this younger kid, and then she starts working there, and they start getting involved, and just kind of the different emotions involved and the different characters. And yeah, the ending, I feel like you could see what happened a mile away. You could, just by the actions of and the dialogue and just everything, you could tell if they were non-actors. I thought the character Rose from Misty Wilkins, she was by far the best. The other two were just kind of like humdrum. It was too much, like it was just regular, ordinary people, but it was just kind of tedious and boring at times. For me, it was okay for a one-time watch, but not worth all the praise I've heard for this movie. It's unique in the fact that it's doesn't make for a very interesting story to me. You could totally, I mean, there's only like a couple options right there of who it could be. There's a murder involved, and right from reading this, I was like, I knew exactly what happened. And of course, that's how it played out. I just didn't think it was that intriguing, that interesting, that unique or special. I guess you hear certain things that are said toward the end. I was like, all right, I kind of like what was said there, but it doesn't make it fully stand out. Yeah, it's just basically them working in this small Midwest town, lonely. She's taking care of her father, and she helps out with everything. She, drives him to work, drives him to the date too, I believe, as well. Or no, that's right. She watches her kid while they go on a date, and they didn't tell her initially about it. And it's so clear that she has feelings for him, even though she's much older. But not that that necessarily means anything, but you can tell there's no reciprocal interest there. But yeah, it's just kind of a character study in a way of the small town life, and just how emotions can get twisted, and yeah, just the different characters. I feel like all the characters weren't great, but yeah, I didn't really feel like this one was that special. It was for a buck, I'm okay with it. But I think this was actually out of print, but it doesn't go for too much money, so you can still get it for a decent price. But I know a lot of people love this one. I like Steven Soderbergh as a director. I think this was, I don't know, I feel like it was overhyped for me, and didn't quite live up to it. I thought it was very formulaic, very predictable, nothing special. I feel like if they had better actors, a better dialogue, something better of a twist, something that wasn't so predictable, it could be something there. But as it is, I was disappointed. So there you go. For a buck, not too disappointed though. It's, a little bit of a waste of time. I like the one actress in there. She was good. She could have actually be an actress. I feel like she seems like she was the only one that had real acting chops. Again, the actress Misty Wilkins, and I believe it was her actual real daughter too, who played Rose's daughter in the movie. So I do think it's interesting when they have like non-actors for movies and they turn out to be good actors. This really wasn't the case aside from her. Next up is Paper Towns, which I remember having mixed feelings on this one. I remember not liking a lot of the film, and I'm not a big fan of this actress who's been in a bunch of stuff, Cara Delevingne. And then this guy too, his brother was in Hereditary, which I thought Hereditary was awesome. Actually, when I remember seeing this, I was like, and then seeing Hereditary, I was like, is that the same kid? But no, they're brothers. Hereditary to me is an all-time horror classic, modern classic. It's crazy to me that a lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was mind-blowing. One of the creepiest horror movies, not just of recent times, but of all time. But this one to me is a YA, young adult adapted movie, and it definitely shines. If you're into those kind of movies, I think you'll really enjoy it. The thing that I really liked about this movie, the main thing that I liked about it, was the ending, the message at the end. That, basically that people aren't these giant special things, they're just regular people. We kind of hold them up. I think a lot of times due to physical attraction, we find somebody really attractive and we just kind of idealize them, and then we realize they're just a regular trashy person like me. But yeah, that's the kind of message that I took from it at the end. I really appreciate that. But a lot of the aspects to me just felt really ridiculous. Like they just skip school and they just travel from Florida to New York to try to find her, and the friends just go along with it, and the parents are just like, oh, okay. It's too unreasonable, and a whole bunch of other things too just were a little bit much. He basically has a big crush on this girl. I guess they live across the street from each other, I think is what it was. And they were friends initially, and then she turns into like a popular girl, and they kind of drift apart. And he has a big crush on her, and he, wants to win her over. She basically disappears, and he's trying to search for her, and he thinks that she's leaving him little clues, and a lot of it is really ridiculous, but I like the ending message, and I'm looking forward to revisiting it, hopefully enjoying it a little bit more. The next one that I feel is a little bit more YA, but also there's like a trend of all these people who have like different kinds of illnesses and the romance aspects playing up to it for movies recently. In the past couple of years especially, I feel like I've seen a bunch of them. There was another one too that was, I don't know if it was leukemia or what it was. They had I think it was 5 feet apart, something like that. And there's a whole bunch of ones recently, but I do like the lead actress. Shailene Woodley, I think she's very talented. I've heard a lot of people complain about kissing her, saying she had really bad breath. I don't know, it's because she has a certain diet, like a vegan diet or something. I'm not 100% sure. But I remember hearing like 2 or 3 different guys from movies that had kissed her and complained about that. I was like, she's pretty attractive. I'll take some bad breath for that. Just pop a little Altoid in there. But yeah, this is another one where I think I haven't seen this one, and I think they're going through cancer, something to that effect. It doesn't even, I feel like it would just tell me what it is right here in the back. There's a long, drawn out synopsis on the back. Love can still be extraordinary when it isn't perfect. Okay, courage, unlikely challenges. I know she has some kind of like breathing tube thing. There it is right there. They don't tell you exactly what it is on the back. I know it's based on another John Green best-selling novel. Was this a John Green one too? Yeah, it sure is. This stuff is just all over the Dollar Tree. But I remember he was from YouTube way back in the day. His videos would always pop up in like the popular one. But I think she has some kind of a health condition. I don't know if it's how serious it is, or if she survives at the end, or if she doesn't. But yeah, it's basically what it is. She has a health condition. She has a breathing tube, and he's interested in her. He doesn't care, and can romance blossom under difficult times? That's the whole premise here, and they're younger. So we'll see if it's if any good. I'm kind of picky when it comes to the YA stuff. For this one, I remember having mixed feelings on it, but for $1, I'd give it a rewatch. Joy, which is one that I haven't seen before. I really enjoy Jennifer Lawrence as an actress. I think she's very talented. Although in X-Men Apocalypse, I feel like she just kind of phoned that in. It seemed like she didn't really want to be there. But I think she's definitely very talented. Robert De Niro, obviously, too. Bradley Cooper. I like when they work together, Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper. Silver Linings Playbook was amazing. American Hustle, too. But yeah, this is another David O. Russell film. So I think when they all work together, I think it's amazing. So definitely looking forward to checking this one out. Now, this is based on a true story. She founded a business dynasty, and I can't remember what it was that she developed. I don't know if it was some kind of cleaning product, something like that, I think. But yeah, I guess there's betrayal, treachery, and loss of innocence. It's super dramatic, but I'm definitely, oh wow, the supporting cast is way better than I thought. Isabella Rossellini, Virginia Madsen, just a ton of people for the supporting cast here. So definitely looking forward to checking that out. So this looks like it's going to be a really dramatic film. I'm not sure if she was nominated for an Oscar for this or not, but I feel like she's everybody loves her for the Oscars. I remember when I first saw her for Winter's Bone, I was blown away by her performance there, and I think she's, like I said, incredibly talented, incredibly gorgeous. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking this one out. I think I passed it by just because some of the storytelling of it, the dramatics of it from the trailer didn't really draw me in. But a great cast here, and hopefully it will be good. Let me know what your favorite Jennifer Lawrence movie is. For me, I think it's still got to be Winter's Bone with Silver Linings Playbook close behind. American Hustle is, I think, also very good. She's had so many strong performances to me, but Winter's Bone and Silver Linings Playbook are my 2 favorites from her. And this is a Fox one. I think a lot of ones here were from Fox too. Yeah, this is another 20th Century Fox. 20th Century Fox. So yeah, a lot of 20th Century Fox. There's like 3 more from 20th Century Fox in here. I think 4 actually. Next up is Charlie Countryman, which I have not seen. I wasn't the biggest Shia LaBeouf fan, especially early on in his career, but I really liked him in Lawless, and then Man Down. I think his performances there were really strong. I think he kind of the better he got acting performance-wise, the weirder he got in real life. But there's all kinds of weird things of him being in the news for doing bizarre things. So I think he got arrested a couple times. Seemed to kind of lost his mind, but I feel like it really drove some talented performance. But maybe that's what happens when you get really deep into some of these darker roles. It kind of just hard to get away from that in your real life too. But basically it's his late mother appears to him in a vision, tells him to go to Bucharest, and he immediately boards a plane and does so, and he has a chance encounter with a alien passenger, which leads him to a Romanian beauty, changing the course of his entire trip. I guess he falls in love with her, and then she has a dark past, and there's a whole bunch of other dangerous stuff, and there's a gangster ex-husband. Yeah, so it definitely sounds like it says violence and, strangely enough, love. Underworld filled with hallucinatory. Oh, yeah, I'm into it already. It's got Mads in here, it looks like, from the back. Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen's in here, Evan Rachel Wood. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that from the cast too, and seeing another great performance from him. Hopefully, it looks like another darker movie. I feel like when he does the darker movies, they're really good. So, looking forward to checking that one out. And let me know what your favorite Shia LaBeouf movie is. Who released this one? And Millennium, which I guess Millennium. Magnolia, Alchemy, a lot of those ones were in there before, but I didn't really see as many 20th Century Fox ones. Yeah, this is the last four are 20th Century Fox. The Pink Panther 2 with Steve Martin. I remember the old school Pink Panther. I haven't seen this one, so I'm looking forward to checking it out. Let me know what your favorite Steve Martin movie is. He's done some classics. The Jerk is an all-time classic. I really liked Roxanne as well. With the nose, kind of a throwback for literary kind of adaptation right there. Classics. But Steve Martin, I guess, is the bumbling Jacques Cousteau, and some slapstick comedy going on. Some really good special features in here, including a bonus disc, 27 classic Pink Panther cartoons, nearly 3 hours of added animated fun. I mean, right there, that is worth way more than $1. I mean, it's crazy to me. This is some of these ones. A lot of, again, some trivia game. 3 discs in here, but the third disc is just a digital copy. But that is pretty cool. So there's the bonus disc with the 27 Pink Panther cartoons, and then the digital copy, and then the Pink Panther Blu-ray. And yeah, actually, some of these did come with digital copies. I immediately opened them up and sold most of the ones for digital copies. So these were, a great deal. So there's 10 movies in here, and I ended up selling them for the digital codes. Even though that they're older codes, a lot of times even expired ones can still be redeemed. So I ended up getting $10 for the digital copies. So these were free. Woo! Which is crazy to me. Yeah, the ones that had digital copies, Paper Towns, right there, Fault in Our Stars, Joy. Oh, and one more, which I'll show you in a minute, that had a digital copy. Although it's odd because it doesn't say it on the case itself, so it was just a nice surprise when I opened it up. So it worked out perfectly. $10 off the codes, and the Blu-rays were $10. So essentially, $0 Blu-ray haul right there. Thank you very much, Dollar Tree. And this is one that this is the one that I was the most excited for, because I remember watching this and I loved the heck out of it. I keep meaning to pick it up. A lot of times for my Amazon wishlist, like I have a crazy long Amazon wishlist. I keep adding stuff to it, so stuff keeps getting pushed down and down, further down. I kind of forget about it for a while, and this is one that I really love. Kind of when I remember, it's set in the 80s. Great cast in here. Topher Grace, Teresa Palmer, who is just stunning. I'm trying to remember who else. Dan Fogler. I'm not a huge fan of him. He always plays that kind of same typical goofy buddy role. I don't know, but he's okay. But basically, it's him trying to get the girl of his dreams, and I'm pretty sure it was set in the 80s. I remember there was 80s music going on. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I just remember there being a big party scene, and then him just trying to find the girl and profess his love. And it's formulaic, but I just remember it being really satisfying and just a very fun time. I'm looking forward to revisiting this one. And just remember, it says 12 awesome hits from the totally rad 80s. So it includes Music Boombox. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I love anything 80s music, movies. If it's set in the 80s, I'm there. I'm going to give it a fair chance. Topher Grace, I feel like I can't look at him the same after watching him in BlacKkKlansman. He was great in that role, though. And I thought he was always miscast for Predators. That was one of the biggest criticisms I have for that movie. I really enjoyed that movie. I'm not a big fan of Adrian Brody, but I thought he was decent in it. But Topher Grace was just miscast for me for that role. That 70s show, I feel like he'll always be that role. And even in Spider-Man 3, I didn't really care for him there either. But I think he's good in certain roles, especially one like this, where he's playing kind of a character who's a little dorky and kind of similar to his character in that 70s show. But love the heck out of that show. Red Foreman, probably my favorite cast member. Let me know who your favorite cast member from that 70s show is. So very happy to pick that up. Next up is Woman in Black 2, Angel of Death. I haven't seen this one. I just recently picked up Woman in Black, the first remake with Daniel Radcliffe from my local grocery store. I think that was like $3. So I watched that. I thought that was actually pretty decent, which a lot of people weren't aware. That's a remake. I have a bootleg of the old one because I think it was either we didn't have it here in the U.S. or it was long out of print. But the original one I thought was really creepy and atmospheric. I'd love to see someone release that finally. But the remake with Daniel Radcliffe was pretty decent. I liked a lot of it. I thought it was also very atmospheric, and I thought Daniel Radcliffe is a really good actor. Daniel Radcliffe is so much more than just Harry Potter. I feel like he'll always be thought of as that role. And of course, it was a huge blockbuster franchise, so I can understand that. But he is a really strong actor and deserves to be appreciated as such. I feel like he's done so many great movies. I thought Swiss Army Man was really subversive and underrated, and Horns, another really underrated horror movie. Imperium, which was a really good one too. He plays an undercover agent pretending to be a neo-Nazi. Really great in everything I've seen him in. And the first Woman in Black one, like I said, surprisingly good. Looking forward to checking this one out. I haven't heard too many good things about it, but for $1, I'll give it a fair chance. Yeah, I guess the Woman in Black is back, and she's gonna take some more kids and stuff like that and just terrorize people. I guess that's the gist of it. Moving into an abandoned house, and the children mysteriously disappear. There's a shocking discovery. Yeah, so Murderous Woman in Black. Back again. Back in Black. There we go. And let me know what your favorite horror sequel is. Obviously, I've heard a lot of negative things about it. I'm still going to give it a fair chance regardless. There are some really strong horror sequels out there, but there's also a lot of ones that feel like cash grabs and just kind of continuing off the success of how well the first one was doing, the franchise in general. And last, but not necessarily least, The Oranges. This is one that I've seen that I want to revisit this one. I remember this one, some of the aspects of it, I remember thinking it was decent, and other aspects was like, come on now. Basically, Hugh Laurie, who is an older guy, hooks up with Leighton Meester, a younger girl, and I believe his son has a crush on her, and that part always bothered me. It's like, it's so weird to me. Why would you do that? And it's basically his sister's best friend, and also his best friend's daughter. So like all of it is so twisted. Like I can understand, certain aspects being a little bit different and going against the grain of societal norms and relationship aspects like that. I can appreciate that, Harold and Maude-esque stuff like that. But just the fact with all the different ties in, his son's crush, his daughter's best friend, his best friend's daughter, like all of that is just too much. And then I just feel like the certain aspects of how they react to the situation, some make sense, others don't make sense, and that's basically just what it is, just a crazy drama with all that kind of relationship aspect going in. I liked a lot of the performances here, but and I liked aspects of it, but certain aspects were just a little bit much from what I remember. But I'm gonna revisit this one and check it out again for $1. Why the heck not? I remember really liking the cast. That really stood out for me. And let me know what your favorite non-conventional romance movie is outside of societal norms, kind of. Essentially not your stereotypical romance movie. Another one from 20th Century Fox, 20th Century Fox, 20th Century Fox, 20th Century, are they going? Well, they just did get purchased by Disney, so I think that was just finalized. So there you go, just lots of Blu-ray goodness right here from the Dollar Tree. Essentially for free, $0 total, $10 initially, then I sold the codes for $10, so that worked out amazingly. And they had a whole bunch of like doubles and triples and a bunch of stuff I already had and stuff that they've had before, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they have in the future. I still think it's amazing and just an amazing time for physical media collectors, Blu-ray fans, for all these ones that are out there for great, crazy deals. I think a lot of people still think streaming is the way. People were freaking out when Samsung, stopped making Blu-ray players and 4K players. I felt like, meh. I mean, they weren't the top of the line for it. I feel like they haven't been in a while, so that them leaving just really doesn't matter. And physical media will always be better than streaming. You don't have to worry about any kind of, as far as internet outages, any kind of slowing down, any buffering. The picture quality is going to be better. It just can't live up to that. Usually better special features, audio quality. You don't have to worry about any kind of censorship down the line. That could actually really be a thing. That could be one of the biggest detriments for streaming. Companies buying other things and deciding to censor certain aspects and change little parts of the movies, editing things, editing endings. That's happened. So that's a big thing right there that I was thinking about. And it's just, there's so many positives for owning the physical copy over streaming. Different companies like Netflix, Redbox, Hulu, whatever streaming service or kind of Redbox is still around. I feel like I don't really hear people talk about it too much, but they could lose the rights to movies. Like Netflix lost all the rights to the Disney ones. Disney's going to do their own streaming. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? Again, you could have issues with your internet service provider. You could have companies trying to censor movies. You can try. They could lose the rights. So I never have to worry about that when I pick this movie off the shelf, and I can watch it how it is, how I remember it, how I know it's going to be, without issue. And Blu-rays don't scratch as easily as DVDs or anything like that. So as long as you're not throwing them around playing frisbee with them, there's not going to be any issue. So I was pretty excited for that, and that's my thought on the whole physical media versus streaming. I can understand the convenience aspect, but that for streaming just on the go for a lot of newer stuff, I get that. But besides that, I mean, a lot of times these streaming services don't have a great catalog of older titles, especially for me, for horror fans. I remember watching some Netflix ones, and just remember being kind of disappointed. Like, there's a couple good newer ones, and then I just felt like there wasn't a lot from back in the day. A lot of the older titles that I was looking for, they didn't have on there. So happy I have my movie collection, and happy to get these at the Dollar Tree. Let me know what you think of these movies, if you've seen them, what you think of them, which one was your favorite. And yeah, let me know what you think of streaming versus physical media, and if you picked up anything at the Dollar Tree, Blu-ray or DVD wise. Leave me those comments down below. Hope everyone's doing well. Take care.